So like all things, everything has a beginning and an end. Which means as DC, there is absolutely a conclusion, and that could be Crisis on Infinite Earths, DCEU's very own endgame. Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong. First, we're going to talk about the Batman. Then we're going to talk about Birds of Prey 2. Then we're going to talk about The Flash. And finally, DCEU's very own Crisis on Infinite Earths. Alright, let's talk about the Batman. Now, there's a lot of rumors and speculation going around for the Batman, but since it had already multiple screenings already, I think some information is starting to leak out. Now, this is very minor and probably doesn't have anything to do much with the plot, more so for Bruce Wayne's character. This is coming from One Take News. New details on Bruce Wayne in The Batman revealed. Now, Robert Pattinson, who plays Bruce Wayne, aka the Batman, in Matt Reeves' The Batman movie, apparently has a mental illness, and it's something that he actually takes from his mom. Yes, Martha Wayne has mental illness and may even be in Arkham Asylum. Which is interesting because I think I covered this before when Grace Randolph talked about it. Back in June, she said this: DCT, Warner Brothers concerned about the Batman not just for being dark, but Bruce has mental health issues. I personally like this, but does show Jeff Johns was still pushing scripts to follow his comics, Batman Earth 1, which was excellent, and follow some of Scott Snyder's work. Now at that time, Bruce having mental issues is nothing new. I mean, a dude dressed up as a bat going around fighting crime, he's gotta have some issues. But the little added thing where he has mental issues because of his mom, who is in Arkham, is interesting. Also makes me wonder, then how did that play out? Did she get out of Arkham and went to the theater and then got shot? Now this may not play too much into the plot or actual story, but it may intensify Bruce Wayne's character's rage and anger as he's purposely beating these criminals down and possibly almost killing them. A viewer not an insider industry has a little bit more about Batman. Gonna disappear to finish work, but here's some The Batman info for you. You all know Bruce has been Batman for 2 years, but concerningly, street crime is up over that time. Escalation is a major theme, and what impact is Batman having on a city? Is I'm vengeance a good thing? So I guess he's saying that is violence begetting violence? Is all this vigilante actually helping and solving Gotham's problems in this escalating crime situation? But I guess aside from the suspenseful plot and thrilling and maybe mystery through the whole movie, that there is a little bit of a social commentary in this movie as well, which could be very interesting, and I'm wondering how deep it will go. Alright, let's talk about Birds of Prey 2. Now the first Birds of Prey movie had a lukewarm theatrical box office. Also the whole thing about making it Birds of Prey and then a little bit of Harley Quinn just doesn't match up because it was mostly Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. But either way, it's still canon and there's still projects coming off as spin-offs from Birds of Prey, like Journey Smollett as Black Canary. Well, now this is coming from the hashtag show. A Birds of Prey sequel is in the works, but it won't feature Harley Quinn. So that's why Margot Robbie said there is no Harley Quinn sequel in development. But it kind of makes sense in terms of the canon of the 2020 movie. Because at the end of Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn broke off with a group with Cassandra Cain. And when she talked about the Birds of Prey, it was pretty much just Black Canary, the Huntress, and Renee Montoya. So leading off a sequel to Birds of Prey, and it's about just the Birds of Prey, yeah, I probably wouldn't have Harley Quinn in it. There are gonna have, in fact, Batgirl be involved, which is likely that Leslie Grace will get another chance at being Batgirl the next time around, joining Journey Smollett, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and Rosie Perez, which is awesome because in the comics, Batgirl is one of the Birds of Prey characters, so that makes absolute sense. Now the hashtag show also mentions the villain. The villain in the outline was the Calculator, with the third act appearance by his created robot assassin, Burn Rate. Now this is just judging from an outline they apparently saw, so let's just make it rumors for now. Now, whether or not that's going to be a theatrical experience or another HBO Max experience, we won't know until they finally announce it. Alright, let's talk about The Flash. Now this is another Batman thing from The Flash. I know it's so much Batman content coming from a Flash movie, but this is coming from the Flash Film News in regards to Michael Keaton. Rumor: since the release of the Flash teaser, we learned a key fact that gives context to Keaton's bloody cowl. In the film, when Barry first encounters Keaton, he's badly injured. Apparently, Keaton's Batman has become reckless over the years due to Alfred's passing. I mean, judging from Michael Keaton's age and the older Bruce Wayne he's going to be in The Flash, also that the mansion looked pretty decrepit and doesn't look taken care of. They're obviously Alfred's gone, and he was already pretty up there in the Burtonverse movies. But having that affect him psychologically is an interesting plot point in the movie. So that means it's not just a cameo, and they're not just gonna throw Michael Keaton in there. He's probably gonna have his own character arc, which for Michael Keaton as Batman fans, that could be interesting. We haven't seen this character in decades. We might as well see maybe flashbacks how he's gotten to be this older, angrier Batman. Scoot, who works in the industry, had this to add. I kept trying to tell folks that they repurposed the Thomas Wayne role to Pete Keaton. This is also why he's not the new primary Batman in the DCEU. Which is interesting that he said Thomas Wayne's Batman, because Thomas Wayne's Batman doesn't go any further than the Flashpoint storyline, which is different from what we heard that Michael Keaton is going to have more roles within the DCEU. But that's no secret that they're going to do that instead of the Thomas Wayne role. I think Andy Muschietti had already talked about this, but I still would have wanted Jeffrey D. Morgan to return as Thomas Wayne. That would have been really cool. But at the same time, I'm like, it's Michael Keaton Batman. I dig him too. Why can't we have all three? I don't know. In any case, it's going to be about a Batman with anger issues. Alright, let's talk about a Crisis on Infinite Earths possibility. So this is something I totally missed at DC Fandom. During a segment with Jim Lee, where he was talking about all the different pictures he was teasing, it was like a giant puzzle piece. This is what he said.
So now that we've got some more revealed, what does it all mean, Jim?
Yeah, so that is the $64,000 question, if I could date myself. But then in a day, it is the so that the fans really see.
That's awesome, but you do know that it's not just you and I here talking. There's like literally millions of people watching us right now.
Yeah, yeah, we'll fix it in post, right? Is that what they do, right?
Yeah, we will.
No problem.
We'll fix it in post.
Bleep everything, yes.
All right, so since Jim doesn't want to reveal all of the secrets right now.
So obviously that could just mean like a comic book panel or painting he's doing. But it's interesting they kind of made it like it was a big secret that they were censoring out. And since it included like DCEU characters, I'm just kind of wondering, could this lead to an actual Crisis on Infinite Earths movie? This is what Casey Walsh, the editor at Geeks Worldwide, said. So DC Warner Brothers' plan is to build to a Crisis on Infinite Earths event, if that wasn't obvious already. Whoa! So that means DCEU's endgame level event is going to be a Crisis on Infinite Earths, which could very well much be like the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths, but with a bigger budget and a gigantic cast if it actually included the DCEU characters as well. Now this is a great possibility, and it's probably not going to happen for a long time from now. If this is the endgame level event they're leading up to, this could mean a lot of different possibilities. Yeah, the multiverse. You can argue that a Crisis on Infinite Earths already happened, but maybe this is going to be like the official big one that includes the movie characters as well. Imagine Brandon, Ralph, Tyler Hoechlin, Henry Cavill, all in the same movie? That's going to be insane. Like, that's something nerd dreams are made of. And out of this, maybe years from now, when Discovery takes over, maybe one of those worlds that they spit out is Zack Snyder's Justice League's version. Or imagine if it says Earth whatever and it shows shots of the Nightmare world. That could solidify that that universe does exist as one of the multiverses for DC. Obviously, if this actually does happen, this will be way in the future when Discovery already took over. So I have a lot of faith that this actively means they are very much planning to open a lot more doors instead of closing them.